Hola, 'tis I, Alicia. How are you? Hope you're doing well. We're looking into the train derailments. Okay, so I'm recording this Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. I'm going with the information I can find, which is not a lot. There's not a lot of information out there. So, in Ohio on February 3rd, there was a train that was derailed in East Palestine, and that set off some evacuation orders. There's toxic chemicals. Animals are passing away. We're having all sorts of issues. People are getting sick over there. And it seems to be largely ignored by the news. There's some weird thing here that there's that movie called White Noise, which is based on a book from 1985. And I believe it's set in the same place. I don't know if the book and the movie are both set in the same place as the event we have here. You can tell me down in the comments. So we're going to look into what happened with the train in Ohio. So, gotta let you know, this is a tarot card reading for entertainment purposes only. Allegedly is my opinion, what I'm seeing in the cards, and all of that stuff. So, we'll go do your own research. Let's start here. We're gonna see what's the whole thing that we can know about the Ohio train derailment that happened February 3rd. Now, of course, we've got our usual suspects here. Okay, so what we've got here are a bunch of secrets and people making things happen to their advantage, allegedly. Center of the situation, we have the high priestess. So there's definitely a secret here behind the scenes. There's a desire that this was the location. So for whatever reason, this is a strategic, that they made a point of this to happen in East Palestine. It's on purpose. There's this idea that we're not going to be, they're covering up things. Magician card, the future card is magician in terms of like, we're putting on a magic show, we're going to be covering things up, da 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 da. So I would take anything any official said with a grain of salt. 12 grains of salt, 9,000 grains of salt, my opinion. Who's behind it? El Diablo, Eyes Wide Shut group. Not good people or whatever else is. There's a fear. They have a fear that they find that the people, us normal folks, would find out that this was planned, that there's a partnership going on behind this to make this happen. So there is a fear about that information getting out. And again, they don't want the sun to bring the clarity, to shine the light on this. So that must explain why there's essentially a media blackout and journalists were arrested. So, the emotional undercurrent here is we're waiting to see what's going to happen. So, like I've seen before in past readings, they do these things and they don't exactly know how that will affect people. If you get my drift in terms of things, we create something and we have the intention that it will be bad, that it will be harmful. However, we don't know the extent to the harm. We're going to wait and see. That's the underlying energy here. So we know it's going to be bad. We're just not sure how bad. Because their desire is, for whatever reason, with this town, with this area, all the people that are affected by it, to bring destruction. They do not want, they don't like this area. Or they don't like the people connected to this area. There is something about this area, what it represents to the Eyes Wide Shut gang. They do not like this area. So this is not just East Palestine. This affects multiple areas around. They don't like them. this is, whoever's there, don't like you. Okay, that's great. That's just great. So, we have Eyes Wide Shut behind it. How bad is this for the people? Like, long-term effects. I am not an expert in what toxic chemicals are going to do long-term. We've already heard about animals passing away. We've heard about people that are very sick. Is this like going to be someplace where no one can come back to live? I don't know. So, long-term effects happening here in Ohio. Okay, so this is the zombie tarot. In case you're wondering, I thought it would be appropriate for the destruction Eyes Wide Shut gang brings. Here we have, over here, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Hanged Man. So like I said in the previous reading, the spread, that intentional, but we're not sure how bad it will be. And with the Hanged Man, we're just sitting here waiting. There's some official, we could say government official, working in partnership here. This is the past. We have the Sun and the Nine of Hazards. We have a Page of Cups, Five of Swords, Six of Hazards, and the Wheel of Fortune. I think there is a solution. There's like giving and receiving help to turn this around. So I don't think this is like a permanent loss. What the time frame is between now and getting back to bringing it back, not sure. There's definite loss going on here. And it's just an idea of like, how bad is it? They don't know. And so whatever, if they're trying to downplay it or not pay attention to it or investigate it, that would be a problem. Okay, there is this, I think they're going to get a lot more attention over time to this area. This feels like a community that's just going to get better on its own, like fix it or do whatever they can to contain the problems and build back to something that's not irretrievably broken. So there's this idea that the community itself will recover after there's some losses. But it doesn't feel like this is a permanent destruction. Like I said it though, I don't know what the time frame is between this. There's this idea that with the Page of Cups, that we have this new discoveries, things going on, we're fighting about it, but we're getting help. We're figuring out how to deal with this problem to turn things around. So there's a feeling they want to disperse the people, get them out of the area for whatever reason, because they don't like this area, the people surrounding area. They don't like any of these people. They want them out. And it looks like, though, that there's certain people that stay and solve and fix the problems that have been created by Eyes Wide Shut. There's innovation that would be happening here to turn things around. So it doesn't mean, though, in the meantime, that people aren't going to be leaving for their own safety. So why isn't the media covering this as a big story, since, you know, we're so concerned with the environment and the climate and all things hypocrisy? So why isn't the media covering this? This is their biggest climate agenda story to date, right? Or maybe it's not. This doesn't reflect good on whoever's in charge of the Eyes Wide Shut gang. We could say it's Corn Pop, or we could say it's somebody else. This is just, we don't want added attention about more failures, shall we say. There's some idea that we are blowing smoke up people's asses with the news, which I think we can all agree upon. We're sharing all the fake news here. We have all the secrets. We know what's going on. They know very well what's going on. They're not total nincompoops. They're diabolical, in my opinion. there's this idea like they want to sweep this under the rug as quickly as possible. So it's almost as if they want to have like a, Jesus raising them from the dead kind of thing, that then they would report upon that. So going from what happened on the 3rd to when the area recovers, they'll come back then and do some puff piece on it. That's what they would do. That's the coverage that they will give it. They're not going to give it the coverage it deserves now. There's this idea here that we're giving a bunch of PR. Nobody's excited about or enjoys or even wants this manipulation of the story, the news. Nobody wants the manipulation, but that's exactly what we're doing here. And saying, no, it's all fine, it's all fine. We have, we're not telling you what's happening in our country here. We're not telling you what's going on here. We decide what we share on a large scale. You do not get to decide what we share. They are more concerned with covering up, keeping the truth out in the cold. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, look at this card here. 5 of Hazards. 5 of Pentacles. They don't care. They don't care. Let it burn. Let the destruction happen. Don't care. Don't care. So they don't want to cover it. They want everybody to think we live in some like Stepford Wives land. It's all wonderful and perfect and great, and I don't know what you're seeing that's so wrong. Is this book and movie, White Noise, was this some sort of predictive programming? Yes. If it's not the predictive programming aspect, it is the inspiration. It is the blueprint. It is like, it's a blueprint. It's almost as if it's almost as if they go through the libraries and they're looking to see where to get playbooks, inspiration. It's there's an idea here. The way I'm getting it, it's a game in a way, a sick, diabolical, disgusting game that these people are doing where, let's get creative with it. It's almost like a married couple who's bored in the bedroom and they're, how do we spice things up? I know, sick. So, yes, it is something that they've been working on. So, and desire to bring judgment to an area, but tell you different, that we're the government, we're here to help you. It's all good. Don't worry about us. We're here to help you. And no, we wouldn't do anything like that. So yeah, they're getting this from that story is their inspiration. Now, the interesting thing here, and this would tell me why the area can come back later. Like, they're doing this behind the scenes. However, there's something like they don't count on. They're not good studies. They're basically dumb. They didn't count on something, so they implemented this. But like, while it has immediate disaster, it's like that it's not as bad long term in terms of the how much destruction they were seeking. It doesn't have that. But it doesn't mean that they're not ready to, like, do this again. They had the full card. We're ready to start over again. So they're ready to go again. They're ready to go again. So keep yourselves protected. Let's do 2 quick looks into then. I want to look into Texas. That was February 13th. A truck driver passed and several train cars were derailed. That was Monday morning collision. I want to see, was that an intentional derailment in Texas? This is a lucky coincidence. And when I say lucky, I don't mean lucky, but for demons, it's lucky. It was a happy coincidence that happened, and they're just kind of like, it's weird because it's like the way it comes through is it comes as cover for future, and I don't know how that works. But this idea that there's something there, it's like they do not like the people that are affected in Ohio and the areas around, right? There's also something going on with the trains. I don't know. I haven't followed the train story. There's something going on with the train story where there's things going on there. I don't know if they're trying to do leverages against each other. I don't know. But this is also like, it's beneficial to other folks. Not, I would say they're probably demons as well, but other folks going on here. All right, let's look South Carolina. Is this intentional? This was a CSX train that derailed February 13th, Spartanburg County. No one's injured. 3 cars derailed. And I don't have much more information than that. So, yep. There's part 2 from part 1. So, I don't know what's going on and what's on those cars. Yep, here we go again. Partnerships. We're working. This is not happening on its own. This is the sick thing here with them. Yep. I don't know. They don't like people near South Carolina either. They're seeking to bring this destruction with the Tower card, right? But they want it like downplay. Everything's cool. Don't worry. It's all cool. So, South Carolina is intentional as well. So, if you're near the rails, be careful. I think I'm going to do an extended read here for the Moon Moth Manor. If you haven't joined yet, come join me at aliciawicker.com. And we've got a lot more tarot readings going on there. And we're going to see what else we can find out about what's going on with these. But I do thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, or as best a day you can have if you happen to be in one of these affected areas, and stay safe. Adios.